I mentioned in one of my other videos, or actually my shooting glasses, my ballistic glasses video, that I would do a video on what I use for hearing protection when I'm either outdoors shooting or if I'm at the range. And that is the Howard Leight Impact Sport headset. And you can see these are the low-profile ones. And I believe I bought these new for $35 or something. I got some sort of a deal on them. And these actually, you know, if you're going to put these in your range bag, these fold up real nice into a nice small compact package here. Very comfortable to wear. And some of the features, along with the a good amount of adjustability here. What we have, as you can see here on the front, we've got microphones on both sides, and these run off of two AAA batteries, which, from what I understand, 2 batteries will give you 350 hours of run time, and these will turn off automatically after 4 hours. So I haven't actually tested that particular feature. So the point of the microphones is that they amplify sounds under 82 dB. So they amplify people talking and other sounds around you. They shut off when it detects sounds above 82 dB. So in other words, they shut off when gun firing is going on. These have a Nrr rating of 22 dB, and they are very effective at what they do. So depending upon where I'm at and I'm wearing these, if I'm on an indoor range, I actually may wear these backwards with the microphones facing behind me. That way, if the range master is telling us something we need to hear, I can hear it better. That doesn't always work, though. A lot of times the range master's trying to talk while gunshots are going off. So, you know, you've got the microphones coming on and off and on and off, and it can be a bit distracting, but at least it lets you know that he's trying to say something, so you can stop, turn around, look at him, get visual cues from him, or, you know, walk over in that area and find out what he's saying. So it is helpful. You can see the volume control right here, which is also the on-off. It's kind of recessed so you don't actually hit it. And these headsets also have a 1/8 inch jack here they advertise it so you could plug in an MP3 player or such. You know, if you have a Motorola radio or something of that nature, you can also use this to monitor your radio if you're wearing these out in the field. There is no facility for a microphone on these. These are not, obviously, these are not like those higher-end military Peltor headsets, which run you $300–400. But I have used this tapped into my radio and my MP3 player. These are not high-quality headphones for listening to sound, so if you're expecting a lot of low bass response or a lot of high quality sound out of these, that's not what they're designed for. So you can listen to some music, but it's, you know, the earbuds that come with your MP3 player are probably going to sound a lot better. That's just a heads up. One of the other things about these, which is really nice, is getting at the batteries here. You've got this plastic kind of rubberized compartment, and it pops off, and boom, you've got access to your batteries. So I can't say I have a lot of experience with different headsets, but I have used a couple. Most of them were not most of them didn't have the amplification capabilities. They were just regular earmuffs. But some, from what I understand, some of these that require batteries, there's an extensive process to take them apart and replace them. As you can see, it's relatively easy for me to pop this cover off and get access to the batteries. This foam also is replaceable, so if this gets damaged or wears out or grungy or whatever, you can buy replacement foam inserts for this. I find these, this has a nice headband on it, and there is a good amount of adjustability. Let's see, and you can see the headband itself doesn't adjust, it's these connection points that actually move up and down. So if you've got a big head, these will fit, and with me I've got a small head and they fit just fine. Now I'm going to add that these have an Nrr rating of 22 dB. That may or may not be sufficient for you. When I'm outside, if I'm by myself or one other person, yeah, they work pretty good. But if I'm indoors and I've got somebody in the lane next to me shooting a 44 or a 50, yeah, these, along with the concussion from something like that, these don't have enough protection for me. So what I'll do is, I've got this is just a plastic case for earplugs, a military issue case. I run the you know, the military. These are military plugs that come in that case, and these are probably rated at 20 to 25 as well. I'll stick these in my ears, and I'll use the Howard Lights. Surprisingly enough, if there's no shooting going on and somebody's talking, I can actually hear them talking. With the volume on the Howard Lights turned up all the way and these in, I can still hear them. So it's doable. But when the guns start firing, having this and these in, that's double protection. Now, there actually have been some times where even these have not been enough. So I also run these little foam things. Now, I don't recall who actually make these. They might be 3M, but these have an Nrr rating of like, it's either 30 or 32. These are probably provide the best sound deadening for a foam or a plastic plug that you can stick in your ear, at least that I found. There might be some other ones lurking out there, but you know, these at 30, 32. When I use these and this, oh, I can sit next to just about anything without any discomfort. So that's just me, though. That's how I run my hearing protection. So if I'm at the range, these are obviously in my range bag. This is in my range bag. And in case you didn't know, this top piece comes out, and you can put the plug in and then stick this in your ear, so it helps insert these into the ear. These were military surplus. I don't know what the military's issuing soldiers for plugs, if this kit is still available or not. This obviously is a few years old. But both of these items are in my range kit when I'm going out somewhere. So I keep them together. So I'll just let's make sure I got all my talking points covered about these Howard Lights. There's plenty of reviews on YouTube about these, and so I'm just kind of adding to what other people have already said. The microphones amplify sound up to 82 dB. They shut off after that. There's two directional mics. You can wear the mics facing forward or facing back. I'll just reiterate that when I'm at the range, I found it more efficient to have the microphones facing behind me. The batteries shut off after 4 hours, and I think there have been several times where I've actually been wearing these for longer than 4 hours and they shut off on me. So it's not like they shut off like a, you know, like a red dot where, well, not even a red dot, like some devices will shut off if you don't use them, but if you use them, they won't shut off. Obviously this is just a simple, you turn it on and after 4 hours it will shut itself off, and then you've got to manually turn them off and turn them back on to get them back on. I think I've run into that a couple of times. Not a big deal. You normally don't notice it. Howard Leight uses something that's called response technology. That has to do with the internal microphones shutting off. So they don't provide any type of noise cancellation. I know a couple of people have asked me if these cancel out sounds because of the microphone, and I said no, they don't work that way. The microphones amplify sounds up to 82 dB, and then when it detects sounds above 82 dB, they just shut off. So your hearing protection is coming from the positive seal of this around your ear and the foam material and the plastic and everything else. So these provide you passive hearing protection, not unlike how these do. So there's no active hearing protection here. There's active amplification of low-level sounds. Supposedly these are the low-profile design, which have cutouts for clearances of your rifle stock. You can see how this area down here is smaller. That's what they're referring to. Also, these are not extremely thick. These are real low profile. I've not had any clearance issues. The only type of clearance issues I have to deal with is when I have my ballistic glasses on. That's obviously always a challenge with most people, is to get the glasses underneath your earmuffs, and you don't want your glasses creating a gap in the seal between this rubber and your ear. I think that's all the talking points I had. As for general feedback and use, again, like I mentioned, it does take some getting used to wearing these with these amplified microphones on here, because a lot of times the sounds come in and out and in and out. If you're breathing, these microphones pick up your breathing, so it does take a little bit of getting used to when you're using something like this. But they do, you know, work as advertised. Just expect these things, you know, when you're on a live fire range, they're going to be coming on, going off, and coming on and going off, and you may get irritated by that. And I know numerous times I've found myself just turning off the microphones. So these also can be used for other projects. You know, you don't have to reserve these just for shooting. I use these for when I'm running power tools, mowing the lawn, things like that. They're very comfortable to wear for long periods of time, and they work great in those types of situations as well. So you don't have to just keep these in your range bag. You can, you know, use these for other purposes around the house. I know I do. So they get a lot of use, and this is not the only set of these I've owned. I owned another set that I literally wore out, and I think I gave them to a neighbor and bought myself a new set. So I'm on my second set of these right now. I think as for long-term usage and wearing, the only issues I've run into is these pieces. You know, these will wear out, and you know, if you're not careful and you gouge these, you can damage them. But again, they are replaceable, so you can replace those. I have not had any electronics fail. I haven't had any problems with wiring shorting. I mean, you can see that the wiring they use here is rather thick, and they have stress relief points where the wire goes through into the ear parts. And this wiring goes up through the headband. The headband's fairly firm. If you like to wear baseball hats, and your baseball hats have that little round snap at the top, you might find this is kind of irritating when you wear it over a baseball cap with that. I wear caps a lot, but I also have a few caps that don't have the snaps on them, and I actually keep one of those caps in my range bag. So I even have my own cap for shooting, and that's just for comfort purposes, because if you put these on and you get them fitted down tight, and then you get your ballistic glasses on, and these are pushing down on that little snap on the top of your baseball hat, and it starts irritating the top of your head, or at least for me it does. If I had to make a suggestion for these, it would be nice if there was a indentation for those little metal snaps on baseball hats. So that's just me, though. If I was designing these, I would add that. And these fold up like so. So real easy. I've never had to adjust these screws or screw settings right there. I'm assuming that if you needed to replace any of these parts, these might be available. Hard to say. There are a few parts. I've seen the cushions for sale. That's more or less what I've seen available. Again, there's lots of different types of shooting protection out there on the market. These happen to be very good for the money. I'd love to have a set of Peltors as well, but I can't see spending $300 or so on $400, whatever, on a set of those really nice ones that so for what I paid, this is a great bang for the buck. And then coupled with these, if you're sitting next to somebody shooting something crazy big at the range, you got yourself covered, and keep your ears safe. I believe these go by just the term Howard Leight Impact Sports, but they might have a SKU number of R-01526. At least mine did, so I don't know if that's really a model number or if it's just a SKU number, but that's what was on mine. So hopefully this helps you make a decision on purchasing some good quality hearing protection while at the range.